Hmm. All right. This is working. Let me see. Ah, yes. Okay. Right out. I need some privacy, even though I have none. Okay. Okay. I've written some notes to keep me focused. And I want to do this in 20 minutes. Maybe I'll extend it just for fun. Okay. So the investor demand equation and why Eros on Pulsechain has it. There's three things. So before I get into the demand equation, the reason why I'm focused on the demand equation is because even deflationary assets need humans or bots, depending on the business model. If the business model is reliant on bots, fine. But if it's reliant on people investing, then there's got to be demand, not just scarcity, demand. So there's three things that I think are important in creating demand in today's crypto decentralized finance marketplace. And I think Eros has all three of these. I'm going to just say the three of them and then break them down. The first one is it's got to be a magnet protocol. It has to be a Sal to the moon. Oh, bro. Oh, man. All right. Should we talk investor demand equation? Yes, why Eros has it. But what do you want to talk about, Sal? You want to talk about Ouroboros? Why Ouroboros has it? All right. Let me just start with the demand equation. And this applies for any crypto. One, is it a magnet protocol? Okay. And then there's the second one is if it's a magnet, and I'll talk about what I mean by that, is there consistent communication and education versus just green candle marketing? Okay. Green candle marketing, anyone can do. It's easy, right? When the charts are going up, people promote it. And that's when promoters like promoting, is when it feels good. Charts are going up. That doesn't create, that creates the demand equation in a green market, but the demand equation in a fluctuating market requires consistent education and a user investor centric attitude and approach. Okay. And then the third thing, so one is it needs to be a magnet. Two, there needs to be consistent education and aligned user investor group. That creates demand, more demand. When you have aligned investors and users who love it, then word of mouth marketing is easy. Just love hearing you speak, brother. Keep crushing. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, I'm a stutterer at heart, right? And so when once a stutterer, always a stutterer. So part of this is my after years of practicing not talking, right? And slowly convincing myself that I could talk, then now I get to talk. So thank you. Appreciate that. I'm a warrior soul too, right? So the third thing is the first is a magnet protocol. The second is consistent education and less shilling, less, but helping individual investors to make wise decisions. That creates demand because investors trust that. Investors trust education. Number three is I'm going to call it unity of focus and this idea of a roadmap. And the demand equation means that I am consistently having a focus on the product, right? Even beyond the protocol is like the product is king because the protocol can deliver the math and the token economics and the logic and the smart contract, but you know, demand equation for someone to actually want this magnet, it has to be a product that's valuable to me. So I'm going to call this the unity of focus. And this is just to caution people like me when I see let me call it a portfolio. And as someone that's worked for a lot of portfolio builders, like private private equity, venture capital, like foundations that invest, right? I've had the exposure to portfolios, and what I've learned is that each portfolio company or product requires a champion, one, at least one champion. That's mission it is every day is to drive, awareness about the product, because the product does something for the market. The product solves a problem. The product delivers on a promise. The product is the thing that is sticky for investors and users, right? Okay. So now that I know that Sal Vega, Warrior Soul, is here, I'm going to do this investor demand equation for two protocols, for Eros and for Ouroboros. They're two totally different, but I have put both of these through my screens, and they both fit my criteria for what am I willing to invest my time, money, energy, and reputation in. Okay, and Ouroboros, it has been one of those that I don't care what anybody says. I just know what I know, and I feel the same thing with Eros, right? They're totally different, but I have the same attitude about them, mostly because I've done my due diligence. I've done my research. Okay, first, the magnet protocol. What does that mean? Well, it means that the protocol or the product has to distinguish it. There's thousands of investment opportunities out there in crypto, literally thousands, probably tens of thousands. And so we need a magnet, something that is special in its niche. Okay? And here are the sub things that I look for. 3 things that I look for in a magnet protocol. 1, is it fee sharing? Meaning, who's getting the fees from the protocol? And are the users, investors part of the fee sharing equation? That checks the box. Eros is a fee sharing platform. It's a PTGC clone. If I hold Eros, I stake it, I lock it, I get the fees. The R bots are working for me. They're burning, they're buying, they're creating scarcity and demand. And it's a fee sharing. That's a magnet. When it's a fee sharing protocol, I'm interested and I'm willing to share it with my family and friends. Same thing with Ouroboros. It's a pure fee sharing protocol, right? And so the second thing about a magnet protocol, other than the technology is differentiated and special in the space, if it's fee sharing, and then the second important thing that I look for is that there's a scarce supply, right? And there are diamond hand holder culture in the protocol, right? It can't be a magnet protocol if it's a pump and dump coin. It can't be, because like if we don't have a diamond hands holder crew, it doesn't mean you can't take profits. It's just that we've got a commitment of large investors to the protocol, to the platform. And the commitment extends to building trust in the community, communicating to their networks, and really committing to a diamond hand attitude, which really prevents the hurt that so many regular people feel in crypto, because a lot of people buy in green times and get dumped on, right? And so I only really want to participate. And this is new this cycle for me. This is my new learning. I haven't like taken it all in. I've had to learn through experience that a scarce supply plus a diamond hand holder culture means something. If you just have scarcity without demand and without a diamond hand holder crew, it's meaningless. Okay. And then the third thing is that the magnet has to have like an easy pitch. The magnet, yeah, you have to be able to understand it. Boom, easy, right? Like, because in all the noise and all the complexity of this, we need to be able, in order for it to meet my criteria of being a real magnet, something that keeps on attracting new investors and keeps on attracting new users and has a screen that not everybody can get in to this special thing, because it takes a certain kind of investor or user to actually. So let me give you an example. It has to be so simple. So Ouroboros is so simple because it's borrowing and lending for small and mid cap collateral assets. It's a borrowing and lending protocol at essence, and it has a stable coin, and it's designed to scale. That's it. If you like stable coins, if you like using an app, a protocol, here's how it works. It's very simple. There's a unity of focus. Everyone knows who's studied Ouroboros exactly what it is. Borrowing and lending, stable coins. Yes, there'll be yield. Yes, there's mechanics under the hood, but you have a collateral asset, small or mid cap or even large cap, you want to use it as a collateral asset? Great. This is for you. Eros is the same way. It's different. Eros has the same value proposition, though different, as PTGC. PTGC is the granddaddy of all of the LP webs on Pulsechain. Like Atropa is potentially the biggest gorilla of LP webs for a lot of reasons, but I'm not going into that now. But PTGC, the protocol and the math of PTGC is a gem, right? It's a gem. And the math is good. And it's all about, and this is the unique selling proposition. This is the simple thing that makes PTGC and Eros a magnet. The simple idea is it uses the volatility of the market to create fees. And the only thing we can rely on in crypto is the volatility, it going up and it going down. And so PTGC mastered that. And then we got gifted Eros, which is a fork of that. It's got the same thing. Eros is hyper deflationary. Every single buy, sell, transfer, 5% fee in, 5% fee out, it all goes towards the protocol, right? And so it's all about the volatility in the core asset in the context of a liquidity web. That's huge. So PTGC is a magnet, Eros is a magnet, Ouroboros is a magnet because they distinguish themselves. They got fee sharing attached to it. There's scarcity and diamond hand holders attached to it. And it's simple to explain, right? It's obvious how Ouroboros, how PTGC, and how Eros stand out in the marketplace of thousands of protocols. Okay. So, and when we have a magnet protocol, we have more buyers than sellers. Always. It's not that you've got only green chart. It's that you outperform the competition. That's why PTGC has outperformed the competition. Same reason why Ouroboros has outperformed the competition. Same reason why, even though we're only 2 months old with Eros, well, it's over a year, but we've only been doing this for 2 months and we're outperforming the competition, right? Why? Because we have more buyers than sellers. That's it. That's price go up. It's very simple. The reason why we have more buyers than sellers is because it's a magnet protocol, and because there's fee sharing, and because there's diamond hand culture, and because there's a unique selling proposition that people can get with. Okay. And we all want number to go up, but we're all in a very volatile market. What we really want is to outperform the competition and to outperform the market. And that requires microeconomies. It's what we're building in Ouroboros. Just watch what happens. No matter what the macroeconomy does, watch what happens with Ouroboros, because we're building and we've got diamond hands and we've got fee sharing and we've got a unique selling proposition that can scale. Right? Okay. Number two. So the first piece of the demand equation is be a magnet, right? And then each protocol, each product needs to figure out what's my magnetic attraction. And that points to number two. This is this idea, and this is the biggest thing that made me open to Eros as a community initiative. It's this idea of consistent education versus green candle. Everyone loves green candle marketing. Everyone's like, oh, 1,000 tweets a day when things are good. And I'm like, nah, that's not where it's at. Anyone can do that. Not anyone, however, not everyone, however, and this is the other thing that persuaded me to take on Eros, despite everyone telling me don't do it, right? Part of the reason why I took it on was because I carved it and I'm a free man. I'm free. I am free to choose, right, my investments and my time and energy. And the more someone tells me no, you can't do it, the more I'm going to explore the possibility of doing it. Sometimes even harder, right? So I got challenged with Eros, and I got challenged first by Peter, whose idea this was, and then by the Titanx ecosystem that said, no, 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 don't do it, right? But the thing that persuaded me was my second criteria for investing time, energy, and my money in highly speculative, highly competitive startup crypto environment. And it's this idea of consistent education at the core. Hold on. All right. See, this is what happens when I get focused. Hold on. No, um, to, what is it? To Jason. Hold on, people. Stick with me. This is life and clients. 30. Okay. So consistent education versus green candle marketing. I'm not saying don't do green candle marketing. It's the easiest marketing to do. But what I am saying, I'm saying do that. But what I'm also saying is consistent education is the antidote to bearish mentality, to despair, to people getting like feeling bad at the bottom of markets, having lost money and misinvested and made mistakes. Like the way that protocols and products overcome that, like pump and dump, like attitude that green candle marketing contributes to, is to do consistent education and to be all about uplifting audience, investors, users, all about it. Because, like, at this point in the world, like, there's no reason, like, greed, there's plenty of greed to go around. What this is about is sharing insight, sharing perspective for free, right? I don't get paid to do this. I'm actually educating, and if it ends up supporting my bags, great. That's like a double whammy. But I'm doing it because, and this is how I got persuaded, because Eros got brought to me as an idea. And I was told, I said, look, he said, if you like this idea, I'm going to ask you, Chiz, to be the one that actually educates about it. You don't have to sell it. All you have to do is educate. Use your journey. If you like it, use your experience. You're a really good teacher. He said, I've listened to you. I was like, all right, I'll consider it. So consistent education and onboarding, as opposed to green candle marketing, is the critical ingredient to a demand equation. And the demand equation is the thing that we partner with scarcity to create overperforming assets, overperforming assets that beat the competition, that don't surrender in the bear market and say, "Oh, it's a bear market. ETH is going down. I surrender. I give up. I'm going to disappear." No. Consistent education. The third one is, as a advisor to startups, this is the critical one. And I've seen hundreds, no, thousands of startups fail. I've seen a number of them thrive, but 99% of startups, and I would say in crypto it's about the same, die in the first year or two of existence. And almost always, like one of my best mentors around looking for early stage investors had three criteria. I'm only going to talk about one that he gave me. Eros, X on Pulsechain, reposted the stream. Right on. So this is the critical ingredient. Like his question, he trained me to, because I was like a leadership, I was a CEO coach. I still am for founders and for CEOs of tech startups, not just tech, any startup, but mostly tech, because tech is what's growth. Right. And so one of the things that, and it's early stage startups. So I'm trained to see startups that have the potential to have some legs to thrive. Right. And his third criteria is, can the founder, builder drive the growth like they say they can? Do they have it? Can they grow it? And if his judgment, and he would cross off almost every investment if he didn't think the founder, the one, or maybe the founder team, if they can't drive it to growth like they say they can, he's got no interest. And the biggest criteria that he had was what I reframe as unity of focus. One mission. Not 12 missions, not 12 products, not 12 protocols, not 12 anything. One unity of focus. So that's why for me, for each like protocol to have the demand equation, they need to be a magnet. There needs to be consistent education about that magnet so that newcomers are constantly onboarded and updated, and there needs to be constant communication and education. And the founder builder needs a unity of focus in order to grow it like they say they can. Not for the beginning of the launch to shill. That's green candle marketing. It's a different form of green candle marketing. It's pre-launch promise. Then a protocol, a product becomes a promise protocol, a promise protocol, a promise product. It's the grind of a startup with a unity of focus that wins, right? That's why I really like Ouroboros, because I see the unity of focus. I see the grind. I see how the founder builder is in it every single day. One focus, Ouroboros. That I trust 100%. Now, Eros is a little different because there is no founder. There is no builder. It was an airdrop. But what it has is one person, and this is why he has become, his name is Peter. He's Anon. His voice and his intelligence is accessible to anyone that's willing to listen. He shares it everywhere. Sometimes it's overwhelming, but part of the reason why he and Eros fit my equation was because I saw a magnet protocol just like PTGC. I saw he was asking me, be consistent education. He's like, I'm going to educate. If you like it, everyone's going to educate. I was like, oh, fits my criteria. Number three, a unity of focus. I didn't realize that I was going to have a unity of focus. I didn't realize that I was going to take this on, but I decided after I saw Peter, he's got a crazy unity of focus. He's like he probably has 12 other investments that he's focused on, but he's got a huge investment in Titan X that he wasn't willing to watch in a bear market be abandoned. He had a huge unity of focus. Every single day since he reached out to me, he's been accessible to me. Every single day he's been putting out stuff. That spreads. People will either adopt that kind of workhorse unity of focus, or they'll get offended by it and say, I don't like it. Either is fine. I like it. I like it because I saw my startup mind said, oh, it's totally decentralized protocol, but it has a champion, one champion who's not leaving it, who is totally resilient, who doesn't react emotionally and is going to be brutally, authentically him. That's why a lot of people don't like it, because he's brutally authentic in a space where nobody knows, because everyone just sort of dances around the decentralized BS marketplace, right? So investing in crypto really requires unity of focus. When I see like promoters promoting 30 projects, I'm like, how can you do that? How does that work? When I see, builders having more than one protocol product at a time to focus on, unless you have a huge conglomerate of a team and you can act like a portfolio company manager, like a portfolio manager where you've got a whole team to manage your portfolio of products and protocols. Like without a portfolio team, there's no way you're going to have the demand equation. It's why we see a lot of protocols launching without a lot of traction, right? And so personally, I'd rather for a startup see like what Ouroboros and Eros have. I think Ouroboros probably, there's 600 holders. It probably has 50 to 100 diamond hand investors. That's enough for an early stage protocol. That's plenty. Because then you scale that diamond hand culture who believe in the protocol and are educating and onboarding and sharing and collaborating and having fun. Same thing with Eros. I'd rather have, right now with Eros, there's 10,000 holders potentially. It's potentially the fairest distribution on the planet. But people don't want to hear about it because Eros is a bad word, right? I'm like, no, Eros is beautiful. Eros is erotic love, man. Look, I freaking carved Eros, right? How could it be bad? It's not bad. It's just people have emotional reactions to things. And so I'd rather have, which is what we have now, probably 20 diamond hand holders. There's probably 10 people that have enough Eros coins to hurt the price. if anyone wanted to, including me. But why would I do that? Right? Why would I do that? I'm going to educate self and others about how to get in, how do you DCA in, and how do you DCA out in a bull market, right? We're about to explode, right? Ethereum is about to explode. The altcoins are about to explode. I don't know when, but I can feel it. It's happening. And what we're doing now with both Ouroboros and with Eros is we're creating magnets. Magnets. And I actually like that people don't like me talking about these two protocols together. I like it. Chiz spitting facts. Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I'm spitting my facts. Um, so yeah. So the demand equation and unity of focus and consistent communications and a magnet protocol is a recipe for success in a marketplace that has so much fluff and so many protocols that don't do anything, that don't give the investor a fee sharing opportunity, that don't give me the opportunity to be part of an investor group that's diamond hands. This is like one of the biggest disappointments, like of being part of these supposed communities, and every single one of them. I mean, on Pulsechain, please. There's no diamond hand anything on Pulsechain. They're all about shaking, shaking out whatever, right? Right next, there's no diamond hand. That doesn't exist. The only places where I see diamond hand, and what that means is aligned interests, investors that have a shared incentive to work together, to educate, to collaborate, to uplift, to onboard, to educate. That's how you grow sustainably. Ouroboros has everything we need to outperform the market in this bull cycle and in the bear run. I said the same thing about Eros. We have everything we need. Everything. The protocol is there. Now the culture is here that we're building. The upside is there. The ability to transform a fee token into a non-fee token and to build a liquidity web, everything's there. And it's why I'm not going to guarantee it, but I'm going to track it. I'm going to track over the next 1, 3, 6, 9, 12 months how Ouroboros does versus the competition and how Eros does versus the competition. Those are the two I'm going to track. And it's not because they're my biggest bags. Ouroboros is my biggest bag. But Eros probably has the biggest ROI or potential ROI for me, right? It's a competition between Ouroboros and Eros, actually, in terms of ROI, right? I like that. Last cycle, I had this amazing competition. I always like to have competition between my biggest, or not biggest, but my most passionate holdings. And right now it's Ouroboros and Eros. Ouroboros is easy. Eros is harder because I had to adopt it. I had to get with the program. I had to reclaim my totem, my Eros totem. I had to accept all of the, all of the, like, 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 ah, I would say reactivity, but that's all good. I would say projections. It's all good. Bring them on. Last cycle, I had this crazy competition between my Hex and my Luna. Like, I was just fortunate. I was like riding the Hex wave and riding the Luna wave last cycle, and I had a friendly competition. And look what happened. Luna went almost to zero. Hex is almost gone to zero, right? Now with Luna, I did really well to take profits. With Hex, because I knew the risks of Luna. With Hex, I misread a lot. But the friendly competition, the ROI, I like to have, and that's what it was last cycle. And now this cycle, this is what it's come to, which is Ouroboros and Eros. And I love that they don't overlap. They're like oil and water, right? And I love that. I love that, and I love that I can have the carvings all together and I unify things. Just like I don't like to bring us back into history, just like when there is an internal Titanx battle going on between Shaolin and like Shogun, right? I'm like, oh God, please. It's time to elevate. And so I started carving. I carved Shaolin and Shogun. I was like reconciled all these differences. I was like, come on, guys. You know, it's like we're all on the same team here. Like, why all the insecurity? Why all the negativity? Why all the demeaning dialogue? There's no need for that. If we truly are a collaborative culture, we have dialogue. If we truly are a collaborative culture, we have aligned interests. If we truly have a collaborative culture, we have consistent and committed communications. Otherwise, it's all freaking jargon. And if nothing else, I am trained at smelling jargon and torching jargon, and replacing it with I can use the jargon label, but then we're going to have to replace it with some authenticity and some credibility and some meat to the bones of jargon. All right. I'm late for my meeting. They're calling me now. Like, I get to talk here, but in the next meeting, I just have to listen. I listen for like I have asked questions and I listen for about 50 minutes, and then I ask people if they want my perspective, right? If they don't want my perspective, then they just pay me for the final 10 minutes. If they want my perspective, then I try to cut to the chase, and I give experience-based guidance, customized to the individual enterprise, right? All right, I got to go. Peace out, y'all. Thank you for bearing with my rants and raves.